All right, imagine this. What if you could build your own personal digital assembly line? Something that connects all the different apps you use and just automates all those boring, tedious tasks for you? Well, today we're going to dive into a tool that does exactly that. It's called n8n, and it's pretty awesome. Let's get right into it. So, let me ask you something. Do you ever get that feeling that you're just stuck on a hamster wheel? Doing the same manual, mind-numbing tasks over and over and over again? Yeah, if you're nodding along right now, trust me, you are not alone. And that's the exact problem we're going to talk about solving today. And look, that feeling, it's not just you. It's actually a symptom of a much bigger problem. We're going to call it the modern work bottleneck. And honestly, it's this invisible force that's just slowing all of us down every single day. So what does this bottleneck actually look like? Well, it's a few things that all kind of feed into each other. First, you've got data silos. All our important info is just trapped inside different apps. This forces us to do endless soul-crushing manual work, like copy-pasting. And get this, some studies say that can eat up almost a third of our workday. The root of the problem? Our tools just don't talk to each other, and we don't have the power to create the flexible solutions we really need. And just to put this into perspective, the scale of this problem is, well, it's huge. We're talking about a global automation market that's expected to hit $80 billion by 2028. So yeah, this isn't just some small, annoying thing. It's a massive opportunity to completely rethink how we work.
Okay, so how do we actually fix this? What's the solution? Well, that's where n8n comes into the picture. It's a tool that was literally built from the ground up to be the answer to all these problems. So what is n8n exactly? At its heart, it's an open-source, low-code platform for automating your workflows. Just think of it like a set of digital Legos. You get these powerful building blocks that let you connect all your different tools and make them work together automatically. And that low-code part, that's key. It means you don't have to be a hardcore developer to use it. All right, to really get n8n, you gotta understand its first core concept, the node. So what's a node? It's basically one single step in your automation. It could be a trigger, something that kicks things off, like, hey, a new email just arrived. Or it could be an action, like, okay, now add a new row to that Google Sheet. Each node is its own little self-contained instruction. Okay, so you have these individual nodes. Now, what happens when you start connecting them together? Well, that's when you create a workflow. And this is that digital assembly line we were talking about at the beginning. It's basically a visual map of your whole process, showing you exactly how your information flows from one step to the very next. So what makes n8n so special? Well, for starters, it's got this awesome drag-and-drop visual builder. It comes with over 350 pre-built nodes for all the apps you already use, like Slack, Google Sheets, Notion, you name it. And like we said, it's designed to be easy for non-techies. But, and this is a big but for the pros out there, you can also self-host it. That means you get total control and complete data privacy. Plus, it's all supported by a super active and helpful community. All right, that's enough of the theory. Let's get our hands dirty and see how you can actually take these concepts and build something real. Your very own digital assembly line for your business. Check this out. Here's a super classic example that pretty much everyone can relate to: lead management. So it starts when a new lead fills out a form on your website. Boom, that's your trigger. Instantly, the workflow grabs their info and adds it to a Google Sheet. Then it shoots off a personalized welcome email to them. And at the same time, it pings your sales team on Slack to let them know. All of that happens in a split second and nobody had to lift a finger. But here's the thing, simple stuff like lead management is really just the tip of the iceberg. Once you get the hang of the basics, the possibilities, they just explode. It's almost limitless. For example, you can go way beyond basic automation. How about connecting n8n to AI models like OpenAI? When you do that, you can build your own custom AI agents. I'm talking about a personal assistant that can summarize your emails, manage your calendar, or even draft reports for you, all on its own. Or what about this? Do you ever need to grab information from the web? Well, n8n can become your own powerful web scraper. It'll automatically go out, pull data from pretty much any website, and then neatly organize it into a spreadsheet or a database for you. Super handy. You can totally supercharge your CRM too. Imagine building workflows that automatically enrich your customer data, send out follow-ups on a perfect schedule, and keep all the info between your sales and marketing platforms perfectly in sync. No more manual updates. And for all the developers and more technical people watching, listen to this.
n8n is so flexible, you can actually use it to prototype the entire backend for a new app. It can handle all your data and API requests, letting you build something fast without having to write a mountain of code from scratch.
So you might be wondering, how do you build all these cool custom things? Well, it really boils down to two super important nodes. First, you have the webhook node. Think of it like an open door that's just listening for data to come into your workflow. And then you have the HTTP request node. That's like your personal messenger, sending data out to any other app or service on the internet. Okay, so building a workflow is one thing, but building a workflow that's strong, that can scale, and that isn't a total headache to manage, that's the real game. So let's talk about a few key strategies for, building smart and building strong.
The first big decision you'll have to make is where you're going to run n8n. You've got two main options. You can go with their paid cloud version. It's super easy, zero setup, fully managed. Or you can self-host it, which is free. Now, there are trade-offs, right? Self-hosting gives you ultimate control and keeps your data on your own servers, but you got to have the technical skills to manage it. There's no single right answer here. It really just depends on what you need.
And here is a golden piece of advice, straight from the n8n community over on Reddit. This user says, "It is better to avoid long, big flows. It is a pain to troubleshoot." And they are so right. Why? Because when something inevitably breaks, trying to debug a giant, messy workflow is a total nightmare. So what's the pro move? Break your big ideas down into smaller, more manageable workflows that can talk to each other.
These tips right here, this is what separates the beginners from the pros. First, you absolutely have to build in some error handling, so one little hiccup doesn't bring the whole thing crashing down. Always securely manage your credentials and API keys. Take a second to document what each node is doing. Your future self will thank you. Use conditional logic, if-then statements, to handle data that doesn't look like you expect. And finally, make sure you check in on your workflows every now and then to keep them running smoothly. So when you boil it all down, what's the big takeaway? I think one user really hit the nail on the head when they said n8n is a developer's dream for automation. And it's because it finds that perfect sweet spot, right? It's incredibly powerful, it's unbelievably flexible, and it's totally open.
And really, this final quote just captures the whole spirit of the tool perfectly. It says, anything is possible with n8n. And honestly, if you've got a little creativity and you're not afraid to get a little technical, that really is the truth.
Which brings us right back to you. After seeing everything this thing can do, I want you to think about your own daily grind for a second. What's that one repetitive, annoying task that you would automate first?